You're building a bunker out there in Wyoming?
You know, the rule to Fight Club is you never talk about Fight Club. Right? So if you're building a bunker, you don't tell people because then everybody knows where to go when everything goes south.
Is Luis Elizondo building a bunker? Well, that's according to the Julian Dory podcast that Luis Elizondo just appeared on. If you look at this post that was made by Julian Dory, he puts, "My Doomsday bunker is ready," right? Number one Pentagon UFO expert is preparing for 2027. What? We've heard about that before. And then in this subsequent title of the YouTube video, it clearly states that he is building a bunker, right? And, well, I've got a clip for you. Now, Luis Elizondo is going to also explain that bunkers aren't just for end-of-the-world scenarios. And to be honest with you, I agree with that, right? A bunker is just preparing. But maybe if you have some inside knowledge about something that may be coming, you might be preparing for that as well.
You're building a bunker out there in Wyoming?
You know, the rule to Fight Club is you never talk about Fight Club. Right? So if you're building a bunker, you don't tell people because then everybody knows where to go when everything goes south. So, it would be remiss of me to not say that. Yeah, I think people look. Being prepared is not a bad thing. Now, being paranoid, maybe.
A bunker feels a little paranoid, Lou.
Well, look, there's an old saying, right? Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
What is a bunker? Wait, I mean, we hear all about these billionaire bunkers. Last I checked, though, the Pentagon doesn't pay billionaire contracts to its employees.
No, it does not.
So what does your bunker look like? Like, allegedly?
Allegedly. So here, how about this? Let's say in general terms, if you want a bunker, and by the way, it's not just for, end of the world situations. It could be for things environmental, like even tornadoes, right? We have a lot of tornadoes out in Wyoming. So, people who live in Florida will say, yeah, we have these hurricanes, winds get to 110, category 1, category 2 storm, maybe once every 10, 15 years in Florida. This is like almost every other week where I live in Wyoming. We have winds. It's not uncommon to have a 90-mile-an-hour wind or 100-mile-an-hour gust of wind. So homes have to be built a certain way. They just will not survive the environment. So if you have, for example, a tornado rolling through, maybe you want to use the bunker for that, just in case, right? So a lot of people out there in Wyoming are there for several reasons. A lot of people just want to disappear. And out in Wyoming, we're a constitutional state, so you can build whatever you want on your property. And so, yeah, people build bunkers. And typically what you want in there is enough rations and food and water, right, that can sustain you for a prolonged period of time. Now, how long that is depends on the size of your bunker and whatnot. You also need ventilation. People think, I'm just going to seal myself underground. Well, you just built a coffin. Congratulations. It's not going to do you very much good. You also want medicine. And you also, when I say medicine, everything from antibiotics to how to do field expedient surgery, pain medication if you need it, everything you would need to sustain yourself if you didn't have any type of medical resource or communications or food or any other type of logistics, you have to be able to survive by yourself. And now,
so I don't know. What do you think? Does that sound like he's building a bunker? It does to me, right? And again, the title and what Julian Dory put out is interesting. Now, the part about like him preparing for 2027, that's interesting because again, that's the fake, well, I think it's fake, this alien invasion or something that's happening in 2027, right? And he's kind of implying he's preparing for that, right? Is Luis Elizondo building this bunker to prepare for an invasion that he knows is coming or something is coming, right? Because that's kind of the implication here. And that's alarming, right? To sort of bring that up. Again, I don't know. But again, Luis Elizondo is just going to state, well, I'm just preparing, right? I'm just preparing. I mean, I have to be honest. If Luis Elizondo knows something quite apparent, he should come out and say that. People got kids, y'all. People got families. Like, if there is something happening and he knows and our government knows, they should come out and say something. Because again, I don't think there's anything coming. And if there is an alien invasion coming, I promise whatever bunker you can build on your own land in Wyoming isn't going to stop anything. Might help you from a tornado. Okay, I live in Texas. I know all about tornadoes. Trust me. You know what I mean? Alien invasion. It's like you're 10 feet underground. Oh, okay. Well, you're safe. That's all it takes. I mean, clearly that would have nothing to do with it, right? So I don't know. I'm a little confused by this. And they don't really go into that into the podcast. So I was wondering where Julian got that in the title and in that tweet that he put out, because there is no mention of that, right? So I don't know if they had an off-camera conversation, and then that's why he included it the way he did. But that's the way it's being sold, right? That Luis Elizondo is preparing a bunker, again, for this potential alien invasion that's coming in 2027. Something is happening, right? I don't know. Look, being prepared is there's nothing wrong with that. Prepare for the worst, right? Expect the best, I guess. Or what's the saying? I don't know. Either way, preparing is never a bad thing. And if you did build a bunker and, you never use it, great, right? If the time comes where you need a bunker and you don't have it, you're going to be upset with yourself. Now, if you avoid your family and go into financial ruin to get this bunker built, then that's where the problem is, right? That's the problem with preparing. If you devastate your entire life to prepare for something that may or may never come. If you can kind of prepare while you're just living your normal life, I would say that's okay, right? I mean, at the end of the day, do what you want, but my opinion, right? Why disrupt and devastate your life for something, you know what I mean? Again, there's all these rumblings. And if you remember from Jeremy Corbell, who I made that video about, he revealed that they would be telling us about a lie in 2027, that there would be some sort of slow-moving spacecraft headed for Earth, right? And again, you start connecting the dots here. You got Julian Dory saying that Luis Elizondo is building a bunker preparing for 2027. Again, all the 2027 talk is around that. It's around this slow-moving spacecraft headed for Earth. First of all, why are they moving so slow? Well, they can move at the speed of light. I don't understand. Except for this craft, that doesn't make sense. All right, and they would know that we know at this point, right? Wouldn't they know? Or are they just thinking, wow, they can't stop us anyway? Where are they going to go? You know what I mean? Where are we as Earthlings going to go, right? But then it'd be like, hey, they're going to. You could just see someone going to tell the captain of the alien ship, sir, they're going to build bunkers. He's like, bunkers? We're flying the Death Star here. They're toast, right? Again, all very confusing, all very speculative. Like I've said many times on this podcast, I do not buy into the fear-based narrative to scare people into some threat that's coming in a couple of years, right? Making these predictions, these claims, and then nothing happens. Right. But nobody ever has to pay the price for making these predictions and then it doesn't come through. Well, I thought it was going to happen. No, nothing ever happens to those people that make these predictions. But you get to glide on that credibility of those predictions until it doesn't happen. Right. It's like, again, so strange. I don't know what's going on. But again, just as a, is it okay to build a bunker? Well, of course. People do what they want, and you want to protect your family. I get it. Again, even if you don't use it, it's all good, right? Better to be prepared than not. But if Luis Elizondo is building something because he thinks he knows something is going on and he's not telling the rest of humanity, that's a problem, in my opinion. Hey, it's just my opinion. Right? People do what they want. I don't know all the information, so maybe my opinion is uninformed. I don't know. But just trying to put all the pieces here together. So, I don't know. What do you think? Is Luis Elizondo building a bunker? I think he is. I think he kind of implies in that. Doesn't outright say it, but he's kind of right. You don't really tell people you're building a bunker. You don't want people knowing you have a bunker where you are, because that can just be bad news, right? So all you do is think to yourself, well, I don't need to build a bunker. Jim built a bunker. And when things go south, we'll just go to Jim's place. You know what I mean? So it's like probably the smartest thing about building a bunker is not to tell anybody you're building a bunker. So he clearly had talked to Julian Dory, because that's right at the beginning of the podcast when they talk about it. I mean, it literally opens with that line, right? So why would you talk? If the first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about it, then why are you talking about it, right? With Julian. And shout out to Julian. Love the podcast. But that is strange, right? To be told that if you're trying to protect it and then put it in the podcast. I don't know. Again, what is the point? Now you just let millions of people know that you're building a bunker. It just makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't understand. So confused. Anyway, can't wait to read the comments on this one. All right, y'all. We'll see you guys on the next video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.